Oh, well, that's new. It never used to tell me things were being recorded when I opened them up. Who knew? Anyway, hey peeps. So, been a couple of days. Life happens, I suppose. First of all, if you're noticing I'm a bit more low-key today, that's partly because I'm tired, partly because I've been doing that most dangerous of things and thinking, but I'll ramble about that in a little while. And also, it's been raining all day, which tends to make me a little quieter. It just one of those things. Anyway, what have I been up to the last couple of days? Well, I visited my grandparents on Friday. I love doing that. Took the child to football 2 days in a row because he's in regular training sessions now and also summer camp, and they're on different days and do different things. So it's very cool and I like it. So we did that, which meant that I went for a walk today. That was nice. Actually, I took a new profile pic for myself because the last one, much as I liked it, every time I saw it at the corner of my eye, it looked like my mother, and that was disconcerting. So I had to change it. And like, it's really funny to me because my mom and I don't actually look that alike. If you sit and analyze our different we don't look the same. But taken in aggregate, if you're just sort of glancing, yep, very same. It's a strange thing and a mixed thing for me, but it's what it is. So yeah, I changed my profile pic and I bought a new vacuum cleaner. I did because I was looking at my cost. Okay, let's break down how this actually happened. I had the impulse because I've had the desire to buy one of these flaming things for at least a year now, because my ex actually had one and it was the best ever. So like I have wanted one. And then I was thinking about it yesterday and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to get one of those, but I'll get it later. It's fine. I don't need it right now. That seems a little irresponsible. I can just wait now that it's occurred to me again and it can go on the plan. And then I was doing my journal when this occurred to me. So then I actually like paused and went, okay, hang on now. What's the impact of not having it? So I looked at that. I already have a Hoover, you see, so, but it's a corded one and like it's bagless, so it's convenient that way, but also it's kind of hefty and you have to plug it into every room and it is hell. One sec. Guys, I had to edit today because my child appeared. Consider this. Child appearance 1. Child cameo aside. So I was looking at the impact of my current vacuum and like long story short, I can make myself use it if I'm having like a goodish day. I'm at least a 4 out of 5 for the day, energy wise and on the ballness. So that, and then when I use that one, it actually takes like a good bite out of my energy. So okay, fine. How many days a month am I going to be willing to use this fucking thing? And it was 2, best case scenario, which obviously leaves my floor a complete mess, more than I would like. And then so I went, okay, fine. What would the numbers be if I just bought a flaming cordless vacuum? And I'm like, well, actually, I could use them on as low as a 2 out of 5 day. And it doesn't really cost me much in the way of energy because I really like them. And at that point I went, okay, fine, fine. What's the impact of this. What is having messy floors preventing for you? And I had a list. And I will share this list because who fucking knows, maybe it'll relate, maybe it won't. But anyway, on my list were things such as, oh no, I can't possibly have people over because my floors are a damn mess. Nothing ever looks tidy. I feel vaguely like a failure every time things are not tidy. I'm forever standing on stuff. And there was another one. What was the other one? Oh yeah, the mental load from not having done it, because I literally every time I see my floors and they're not actually pristine, I think about how I should probably do something about that, and it just gets exhausting. So I went, okay, fine. Clearly, this is having a measurable impact on my life. I'm just going to order the flaming paper, and here we are. And it just arrived right before I hopped on to record this. I was about to, and then I got the text saying it was coming. So it's now here, and I'm going to go charge the battery, and that's going to be great. But yeah, that was yesterday's contemplations. And then I was up late last night, guys. Yes, this is the me that was medicated up late. It doesn't snap fingers fix that, but it means that it's more of a choice than I just couldn't sleep. So I chose to be up. Anyway, and then of course I was up at my usual time this morning, and then had the vague light headache, but it was the kind where I'm like, okay, this is not going migraine. We're gonna be okay. So I didn't medicate for it, but I was a bit slower this morning. I did do some work the way I was planning to. Yes, it's a Sunday, but I have learned that if I just plan to work every day, there'll be days where I can't anyway, and it balances it. I've just learned to take those days as, oh, okay, we're having a day off, are we? The joys of setting your own schedule. Anyhow, so yeah, it was a little bit slower today, but I got my stuff done. I took the child out, like I said, went for my walk, which was lovely. I get to wear my barefoot Vibram shoe thingies, toe shoes. They're like the most comfortable shoes you will ever find. And I love them so much, even though they make my feet look a little bit weird, and they're not waterproof, which is kind of upsetting, actually. Like, I keep looking and going, I should just get a waterproof pair while I'm here, because I like them. Yeah, the winter ones are waterproof. Haven't done it yet, but they're so nice. And like, not so much this year, but the year before this year, last year, I well, no, like rolling 12 months. So yes, it's last year, but like this time last year, I was wearing it an awful lot more, and I had been for about a year, and my feet were so much healthier and like stronger and moving properly. And I originally looked into them because I was starting to get, of all things, lower back pain, and more or less removed that also. So can recommend. Anyway, I was wearing those again, and because I've not been wearing them for a while, I have now got the blisters that are like, hey, I see that you're starting to use your feet again. Let me just make that slightly awkward for you. So we had that. And God, what else did I do today? Oh yeah, and then I spent most of the day cleaning my kitchen, because I did not do that last week very much when I was slightly mentally impaired. Let's go with that. No, it's more energy levels than thought processes, but sometimes there are battles not worth facing, and that was one of those times. Anyway, kitchen is now clean again. Makes me delightedly happy. Yeah, and then other than that, just really a lot of thinking. I watched You've Got Mail again. Like, I've seen it before a long time ago, but can I just say, as far as romances go, that has actually aged pretty well. Oh, I say this is like asking for a lynching, but it's still endearing is the thing. It's still like, you watch it and you want things to turn out well for these people. and they're kind of relatable and kind of awkward, and it's nice. I like a lot of the older rom-coms for that reason, because they're likable people. Whereas, I think sometimes with some of the more modern ones, they're not quite as endearing. Yes, I still watch more of them than I'm willing to admit to, but they're not as fun. Like, if we could just continually revisit the best rom-coms of the 80s and 90s, I would be delighted with life. Like, just keep making variations of those. But they've lost their way a little bit. And like, this is the part where, by the way, every time I complain about a genre of film, I hear my old screenwriting teacher in my head, and now I can't hand on heart swear that he ever actually said this aloud. Every time I hear him in there saying, well, why don't you write one? And I go, that's work. But I mean, maybe I'll get around to it eventually. But yeah, so it's I suppose we could call this an inattentive day. Like, I've just been quietly pottering away, doing my things, daydreaming more than is wise, and it's Sunday, Well, let me see. Next week, as in tomorrow and the next day, because that's how we plan. I have got the usual amount of work type stuff to do, and I've got an increasingly short list of things to put together for my own business, which this is exciting to me, right? Because even though I have had I had a business before that I built, and I did quite well, actually. I was a web developer, but it was never quite fully structured in a way I was happy with. Like, I would keep having ideas and changing it around and getting fed up with entire service lines and putting in new ones. And it wasn't one I really loved that much. I was very good at it, and I liked the people, and I liked being able to help the people and solve the problems. And there's parts of that I still actually enjoy doing and still quietly do, but not as part of I am web designer type business. I still do some parts of it, but this one that I'm building now is legitimately the one I want to be doing for the rest of my existence, whether it fucking works or not, right? And I have put it together in such a way that the pieces make sense, both as a whole and individually. And I have put a surprising amount of development work into this on the back end. Like, it's been about 2 years since the initial idea sparked for this thing, and I've been working on it pretty solidly since. It's not really been to market other than a couple of bouts of testing, and I stopped actively selling it about 6 months ago. Like, it's still there, but I've not been out marketing and selling and saying, hey, buy my shit, for a while, because I've been quietly putting it together and making sure it works. And I have a list of things that I need to put in place for me to be able to say, okay, the entirety of the structure is now there. Now we can focus on making it prettier, making it run better, and bringing it to people. And I'm this close. And I have never been that close before with any business. Like, arguably, I've had things further along than here, but not across the entirety of it. Like, as far as solid business foundations go, this is it, guys. This is the one that's like been fully thought out and put together. And it's like there's only weeks worth of work left before it's ready for me to start going out and actually marketing it again, like, a business person. And there's a lot of feelings about that. Like, I am excited beyond words about what this will mean and what it can do. And I fully 100% believe in this thing I have built. I'm a little nervous too. It's been a long time since I personally have done much in the way of sales and marketing. And this is really quite funny for me because like this thing I've built grew out of me being able to and loving sales and marketing. Like it's grown out of here. And then I've like paused it and gone, okay, I'm gonna build the thing and get back to that later. And I'm in exactly the place that I know a lot of people get to when they're ready to launch and start going, and then they go, oh God, what if it doesn't work? And I laugh because this is such a part of the process and always has been. It doesn't matter how much experience you have doing it or how much you love the process, and I really truly do. You still always feel a little bit like, oh no, what if it's all been a fluke up till now, right? So like I'm there. It basically, if you want a hell of an analogy, right? I have managed to quite successfully build myself a castle. That's a bit, this is a castle. And I've climbed up to the parapets and there's just a couple of bricks left to put on. And then I'm gonna have to jump from them and see if I fly. It's nuts, right? But it's also the most fun you can. Oh, this is why I love business, ultimately. Like, I mean, okay, a lot of us get into business because we do the maths and go, well, if I'm working for someone else and earning this much, I could just work for myself and earn more than that. And that's true in a lot of cases. That's like your gateway reasoning for business. But if you try it and you really love it, and you sort of, especially if you last for a while without ever making it to instant money, big deal, whoa, and you go through some failures, because oh my God, you'll go through a lot of failures. You kind of get to the point where it's like, it's the best game ever. You're not going to find a better way of challenging yourself or your mind or your skills or your value to society, I suppose, than building something from scratch and bringing it to market. And you're not going to know if it's going to win or not. And like, but dive down deep enough into that, you're building yourself too. It's the most fun. It really is. Like, it's where you find your soul, as far as I'm concerned. And I love it. I truly love it. And I can't wait to just jump off. And I'll be soon. You know what? Fine. If I jump off and I crash, all I have to do is climb up the castle and try again. That's the great thing about it. So you pick yourself up and you're kind of bruised and stuff. And then you climb back up and you jump up again. And if your castle, your business, is strong enough to survive you jumping off it without crumbling to dust, like, this is why you can't have sandcastles, by the by, because if you try and jump off a sandcastle, it's just going to crumble and you're going to have to build it again before you can jump off again, and it slows you right down. But if you have something solid, you can jump off every day. Every day. It's a new chance to see if you'll fly, and it's the best. It's honestly the best. If you ever wonder why the hell it is I do what I do, it's that I can't think of anything more fun than continually testing myself and seeing if I'm right and if I'm wrong, course correcting and becoming more right. And it's nice. Child appearance. Ooh. Anyway, it suits me in a way that building a corporate career never did. And, you know, I look back at life, as one does. She says, as a 30-year-old, fully aware that that's not actually that old. But anyway, look back and go, well, if I had made different choices, it would be somewhere else. Would I be happier, though? Like, would I really appreciate this place I've got to if I didn't have to build it with my own bare hands and wade through the muck and the dirt and the bleeding and the scratches to get to here to build it? Would I really appreciate this the way that I do? Like, if I hadn't tried other businesses before, if I hadn't tried being in the corporate world, if I hadn't moved country and returned, and would I enjoy this as much? And I don't know. And it's such a philosophical type question that it honestly doesn't really matter. But it's fun to think about because I would be fundamentally different if I hadn't got to here. And like part of what I've been learning, especially with getting my diagnosis and starting to really take note of the different things I enjoy and the things I find peace with, is that, yeah, okay, fair enough. I was aware of a lot of this when I was a lot younger, like half this age, and I went a different direction at that time. You know, I could have gone and been a writer then. I could have done lots of things. And then, but you look at it and go, well, actually, I like here. Jelly Beans 3. What can you do? I'm gonna have to edit that out. Anyway. Yeah, so like I would be vastly different to who I am now, but I kind of like who I am now, frankly. It's taken a lot more battles to get to here than probably people just watching from the outside can really appreciate, because I even talk about most of them. But I like here. Here is good. And I think that's the note I want to leave on tonight. So I'll pop back soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe a couple of days from now. But I'll see you again shortly. Okay? Bye, everybody.